Hi guys. Today we're going to watch a little video on some example of word problems that include fractions. So let's look at this first one. Joan makes 40 cookies. If 3/8 of the cookies burnt in the oven, how many cookies were not burnt? Okay, so one thing I'm going to first do is really read the question. I want to know how many were not burnt. Okay, and the information that is given in the problem talk about how many cookies burnt. So I know that 3 cookies burnt, that means, or 3/8 of the cookies burnt, that means that 5/8 of the cookies did not burn. So I actually am trying to figure out what is 5/8 of 40. Okay, so we can do this by using multiplication, because the word of in math really tells me to multiply. So if I want to multiply 5/8 times 40, okay, this is really the same thing as 40 over 1. If it helps you to write it like that with a fraction, you can. All right, now when we're multiplying with fractions, we could do this 2 ways. One way is we could go across the top, across the bottom, and then simplify. Okay, so 40 times 5 is 200. 8 times 1 is 8. And then we now need to simplify. So 200 divided by 8 is 25. So that means 25 cookies did not burn. Now I think this is actually a little bit of a longer way to multiply, because I like to do something called cross-canceling if I can. So cross-canceling means that I'm looking at factors, I'm looking at the numbers in the numerator and the denominator to see if they have any common factors. So in this case, 8 is a factor of both 8 and 40. I can divide 8 into 40. 8 divided by 8 is 1. And 40 divided by 8 is 5. So I'm going to change now the denominator to 1 and the top to 5. So now when I go across the top, 5 times 5 is 25. 1 times 1 is just 1, so I don't even need to write that. So I get my answer with a little bit of easier math. Okay, so that's this one. Check. Let's go ahead and let's read this next problem. So Sadie is buying pizza for a family reunion. She bought 18 pizzas. Of these pizzas, 2/3 are cheese. The cost of the cheese pizza is $9.25 including tax. What was the cost of only the cheese pizzas? So the first thing that we need to do is figure out how many actual cheese pizzas we bought. We know that 2/3 of 18 are cheese, but we need to actually get a number of that. So again, the first question that you're really asking yourself is, what is 2/3 of 18? And the word of tells us in math to multiply. So 2/3 times 18. And again, I can write that as 18 over 1. Okay, so if we're going to use method 1 that we used up top, where we just multiply across the top, across the bottom, 18 times 2 is 36. 3 times 1 is 3. And then now we need to simplify, and 36 divided by 3 is 12. Okay. If I wanted to cross cancel, and I'll do that off to the side for those of you who like to do that. Okay, 2/3 times 18, 3 divides into 18 6 times. Where again, 3 are both factors. So if I'm dividing both this number and this number by 3, that changes to 1. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Again, we get the same answer. So this means that 12 pizzas are cheese. Again, we need to answer the question though. So we want to know the total cost of these cheese pizzas. So if each pizza is $9.25, so each pizza is $12.25. When I'm saying this word each again tells me in math to multiply. So that means I need to take 12 and multiply by 9 25. So if I take 12 and multiply by 925, I get $111. So that means that $111 are what the cheese pieces cost.